Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity, you crazy people. My name is Jay, and today we're just very quickly going to be talking about Han Solo, or Han, as I think it actually confirms in the new movie. They basically, FFG have released a new article talking about Han, and that's what we're going to do as well, which is a coincidence. No, I guess not really a coincidence, because that's the kind of thing that we do. But yeah, let's me get it up on the screen, shall we then? I'm always a little bit iffy about doing these because of how much exactly we're learning. I can't even remember what we've seen so far and what here is new, but I'm fairly sure this gives us almost everything he has access to. So this is a complete reveal now. And we'll just go through it. Now, the one interesting part here early on is that it says, we are also excited to announce that Star Wars Legion is now compatible with the Star Wars Dice app. So for those of you running out of dice, you can just buy the app and crack on. Although, is it free? Not sure if it's free or not. It's coming out Q3, it mentions that later on. This is all of the card, but there's nothing here that's not revealed later on, so we'll just get onto it. We'll go through the card again, just because we can. And that's how I roll. He's low profile, so he's 120 points. He sits between Leia and Luke in that sense. They even say that, and that's his position. Now they've got the trio of the original trilogy, and yeah, low profile. If you've got cover 1, you can increase it to, you can improve it by 1 to heavy cover basically. Very interesting. Going to keep him alive. Speaking about keeping him alive, we'll jump to Uncanny Luck 3. So while defending, you may reroll up to 3 defense dice. That's pretty good, I think. Like a lot of the times, with white dice though, I think is he one of the only commanders with white dice? I'm fairly sure Leia's red, and Veers is red, but don't quote me on that. Either way, rerolling 3 defense dice, yeah, keeps him alive, and that on low profile keeps him alive. That's the whole purpose of those abilities. Gunslinger, after you perform a ranged attack action, you may perform an additional ranged attack action against a different unit. I just really like that because you're going to get 2 red dice, popping people off with the red dice. Pretty nice. The weapon he has PS2 as well, so they're going to cancel those blocks of your opponent, as long as it's not like Darth Vader or something. And Sharpshooter 1, while performing a ranged attack, you reduce the defender's cover by 1, so it makes it much likely you're actually going to do some sort of damage. All in all, pretty interesting, decent-ish stuff there. He's not a support-ish character like Leia or Veers. He is him-focused, shall we say. Like, he's the one trying to do the stuff in his card sense. He does have Surge to crit on the attack and Surge to defense block. On the defense, makes sense. I think they've repainted him. His face is still interesting. It doesn't necessarily look 100% like Han, but it's going to be a decent-ish model. You'll be able to tell who it is. And then we'll have a look at the unconventional command cards. So the first one up here is Sorry About the Mess. We've seen this before. Basically, you treat it as a pip 1 card, but he's going to go first. It's Han going first. I'm surprised they just didn't call it Han shoots first. But interestingly, when you issue an order to Han or Han, I'm just going to call him Han. It's too lazy for that. You get 1 aim token and 1 dodge token. Makes him action efficient in that sense. That's all. It's a hand-focused card, but it makes sense. It mentions in this how you can actually possibly go before maximum firepower, which would be interesting. Like turn 1, get in there and make it so that Han is going to be fine. His other command card that they show, they actually show all 3, but the next one we're going to look at is Reckless Diversion. This is basically when an enemy unit performs an attack, it must attack a trooper unit that has a face-up order token if able. And I'm presuming an enemy one, which obviously makes sense. Which is nice. I like that because it's like, it's hard to explain, but it's going to could keep Han alive basically, or not necessarily Han. I wonder if Han counts as a trooper unit, doesn't he? So I'm not 100% sure there, but it's going to keep them off like your vehicles and stuff like that. I'm not going crazy. Han counts as a trooper unit, doesn't he? Yeah, because he's on foot. So it doesn't actually keep Han alive. It's more for your vehicles, so maybe like your AT-RTs and stuff like that. At the minute, I'm not convinced by that. Then I was like, yeah, that's good, but it's basically, I guess you could sacrifice a unit if you put an order token on a unit you're not that bothered about, and then you give order tokens to everybody else. Then they'll have to shoot the one that you leave open. But thinking it through whilst reading it now, I'm like, nah, maybe not so bothered by it. But the one that really actually interested me is change of plans. So when this card is revealed, you may discard it to return an opponent's command card to their hand. If you do, return to the select command card step, that opponent cannot select the command card that was returned to their hand. So basically, in the command phase, I put down change of hand, my opponent puts down implacable, it says in this description here, which is what it's not what it's for, but you can imagine this is a good example of what it is for. So then I say to my opponent, right, well, what I'll do is I don't want you to use implacable this turn, so I'm going to discard my card, which is change of plans. That goes away. He or she then takes implacable back into his hand, and we both pick new cards, except on this turn they cannot pick implacable. So you can basically guarantee to not get the card against you that you don't want. Only in one turn. You do, of course, then lose change of plans itself, because I have discarded it. Whereas if they don't play that card, I could keep Han Solo and my 2 units being issued orders. It's got some very interesting tactical part of it. When I've been playing my games, I've been whacking down implacable right at a key moment, and there's not really much your opponent can do apart from maybe like move back and flee and try and keep out of his range. This sort of gives you like a counter, and you'll have to work out when your opponent thinks you're going to. Like if I'm the Darth Vader player, I'll have to be like, does he think I'm going to play implacable? Do I not want to play it this turn? It's going to add a little bit of an extra dimension to the game, which I think we all like. He's definitely like middle ground in terms of like where the characters are for the rebels. But there's a couple of extra things that he has. So some of the upgrades that he can get. So the gear like emergency stims. Now this one again, it's a bit awkward, but I will read it. It's an exhaustible card, so keep that in mind. During an attack, when you would suffer wounds, prevent up to 2 wounds, and then place an equal number of wound tokens on his card instead. If you do, at the end of your next activation, discard each token on this card and suffer the wounds equal to the number of tokens discarded. Basically, you can take wounds this activation. Well, it depends. It's not even his activation, is it? It's that turn. So, for example, if I've already activated this turn, then I could do this to try and keep myself alive for another activation. Or if I'm yet to activate this turn, then at least I still get to activate this turn if I'm still around. So it's basically taking 2 wounds, but not taking them now. I'm going to take them at the end of my next activation. The goal here is to try and keep you alive. You want to use it so... let's say I think he's got 6 wounds. I didn't actually speak about his wounds or anything like that. He's got 6 wounds, 2 courage. So let's say he was on 4 wounds, and then he takes 2 wounds before I activate Han. I can take these emergency stims, and I'll activate Han. I do all my normal move, then I take the 2 wounds, and then I die. Pretty interesting. Nice little thing. Very niche, I think, but could be useful to have. I think it's only 8 points, so it's not very expensive, shall we say. Duck and cover. I don't think we'd properly seen duck and cover. Like, I'd read it, but I didn't realise the end stage of it. I don't know if it's changed or what have you, but while defending against a range attack, during the apply dodge and cover step, you may gain 1 suppression token. So you actually physically get the token, but it increases your cover. Now, I'm not 100% sure how this applies to the thing on his card, which is low profile while defending if you have light cover, because in theory you can give a suppression token, get light cover, then get heavy cover. I'd have to double check the steps, you know, in the range of which like things actually go, but that's one possible use for it. It's basically you take a suppression token to try and get +1 cover if you've got 0 cover. So yeah, interesting. You also get improvised orders. Again, another exhaustible card. After an order token is drawn from a friendly order pool, you draw a second order token from that order pool. You choose one to use and you shuffle the other one back into its order pool. If you use this card, basically, during the end phase, you ready this card. So it means once per turn, you get to draw 2 tokens, pick one, discard the other. Well, you don't discard it, you put it back in. It just gives you a little bit more, like, guarantee of what you're going to get out of the bag. Imagine if you've only got 2 things in the bag, but you really want one or not the other. This will let you, like, guarantee it pretty much. And then if you do use it, you only get it once per turn. Then you just ready the card and you're done. So that's it. That's Han Solo. It says Q3 2018. You know, it is what it is. I don't normally like doing these because it's hard to work out exactly what was new. But that's pretty much the entirety of Han. I'll probably do like my basic builds and stuff like that once he shows his face. Yeah. I'm pretty happy enough to see it. It's nice. Like, we've not had anything for like 3 weeks. It's nice to see that, you know, they're aware of this and they're not pumping stuff out, but they're putting stuff out there, I guess. Let me know your thoughts. Are you interested in Han? Personally, at the minute, very interested in Boba Fett. I feel like the Rebels with Luke and Leia are a little bit like, they have the better choices at the moment, I feel like. I'm not saying like Imperials are bad. I just don't like the options of Imperials. You either have an expensive Leia or a cheap Veers, and Veers doesn't really do much. And I feel like, basically I feel like the Imperials need Boba Fett more than the Rebels need Han or Han. But that's my opinion. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Are you excited? Anything here I've missed? Do let me know. As ever, guys, have a most beautiful day. Do like and subscribe. And goodbye. Bye, guys.